My boss stole my Super Bowl tickets, which I received from a client after months of working overtime on a project. You should be grateful you have a job, he said. I acted dumb and said, enjoy the game. He had no idea how Monday would be fun. I had been running on caffeine and sheer determination for the past 4 months. Late nights, early mornings, weekends spent in front of spreadsheets instead of out with friends, all for one project, an account so massive it could redefine my entire career. And finally, it was done. The client was thrilled, the presentation had been flawless, and the contract was signed. But the best part, the reward. I sat at my desk, rereading the email for what must have been the 10th time. Evelyn, you went above and beyond. Consider these a personal thank you. Enjoy the game. Attached was the confirmation, 2 Super Bowl tickets, 40-yard line, front row. My heart pounded. I had never been to a Super Bowl before, and as a lifelong football fan, this was beyond a dream come true. My hands shook as I printed the email, double-checking the details. The client had sent the tickets directly to my boss, Robert Fowler, the senior partner at my firm. It made sense, he handled the logistics for client gifts. I imagined the moment he'd walk into my office, flash that rare smile of approval, and hand them over with a well-earned, Evelyn. Except, that moment never came. Instead, 3 days later, Robert strode into my office without knocking, the smug arrogance he always carried somehow amplified. He leaned against my desk like he owned the air I breathed. I heard you got some great news, he said. I smiled, expecting him to finally hand over the tickets. Yeah, I really appreciate it. I put everything into that project. He nodded, almost amused. You did, which is why I wanted to talk to you about the tickets. Something about the way he said, talk, sent a chill down my spine. Right, I said carefully. Robert exhaled like he was pretending to be the good guy in this conversation. Here's the thing, Evelyn. Clients don't really understand corporate hierarchy. They don't always know how we operate. When they gave you those tickets, well, that was really more of a gift to the firm, not just to you. I felt my stomach tighten. No, I said slowly, keeping my voice calm. The email explicitly said they were a personal thank you to me. He waved that away like it was a minor detail. I get that, but in this business, it's about relationships, and sometimes we need to make strategic decisions. So, I'll be taking the tickets. The world felt like it tilted on its axis. I blinked. What? I already made arrangements. I'm taking a potential investor to the game. It's a smart play for the company. My heart pounded against my ribs. This couldn't be real. Months of exhausting work, countless sacrifices, and he was just taking them. That's not fair, I said, my voice carefully measured, trying to contain the storm raging inside me. The client gave them to me. Robert smirked like I was some naive child who didn't understand how the world worked. You should be grateful you have a job, he said smoothly. That's the real reward here. I swallowed hard, gripping the armrests of my chair. This wasn't just about football anymore. This was about principle, respect, a line that shouldn't be crossed. He patted my desk like I was some obedient pet. I'm sure you understand. And hey, don't worry, you'll have plenty of other opportunities. I forced myself to breathe, to blink, to stay in control. Then I did something that surprised even me. I smiled, not a real one, no, this was the kind of smile that had teeth hidden behind it. Well, I said, voice perfectly smooth, enjoy the game. He grinned, satisfied, and strolled out like he'd just done me a favor. He had no idea how much fun Monday would be. The moment Robert walked out of my office, my fake smile dropped. My hands clenched into fists beneath my desk, my nails digging into my palms. He really thought he could get away with this. I sat in silence for a moment, forcing my breathing to slow. I couldn't afford to react emotionally. No, if I wanted to get back at him, I had to be smart. And lucky for me, Robert had just handed me the perfect opportunity. I pulled up the original email from my client and read it again. My pulse quickened as I formed a plan. The key to taking Robert down wasn't confronting him directly, that would get me nowhere. No, the best way to do it was to let him destroy himself. I sent a quick text to my client, hey, just wanted to say thanks again for thinking of me with those Super Bowl tickets. It turns out they were given to someone else at my firm. Hope to catch up soon. Less than a minute later, my phone buzzed. Are you kidding me? Who took them? I smirked. Oh, this was going to be good. I played dumb, not sure honestly. I just know I never got them. No big deal though. No big deal, those were meant for you. Let me handle this. Bingo. I leaned back in my chair, my heart still pounding, but for an entirely different reason now. This was no longer a battle between me and Robert. This was a battle between Robert and the client, and I already knew who would win. I spent the rest of the day subtly gathering intel. I knew Robert wouldn't be able to keep his ego in check, he'd have to brag to someone. Sure enough, around lunchtime, I overheard him in the break room. Yeah, 40-yard line seats, going to be insane, taking a big fish with me, you know how it is. These kinds of deals are all about relationships. I stayed out of sight, biting back my laughter. The arrogance, the stupidity. By the time Friday rolled around, the office was buzzing. Robert was leaving early, boarding a flight that afternoon to the Super Bowl city. He walked around like a king, smug and untouchable. I caught his eye in the hallway. Big plans this weekend? I asked, keeping my voice light. He smirked. Oh, you know, just making moves. Enjoy the game, I said, and I meant it. Because by the time he landed, the trap would already be in place. Saturday morning, I got an update from my client. I've arranged a meeting for Monday. Just play along, trust me, I grinned. Oh, I trusted him. Sunday came and went, and with it, the Super Bowl. I didn't watch a single second of the game, not because I wasn't still a die-hard football fan, but because I was waiting for Monday. The real show was about to begin. Robert strutted into the office at 9:07 a.m., sunglasses on, coffee in hand, radiating the smugness of a man who thought he had won. He barely acknowledged me as he passed by my desk, heading straight to his office. I waited until the 9:30 a.m. meeting invite popped up on my screen. Subject, client review, mandatory attendance, location, conference room A attendees, senior partners, Robert Fowler, client representative, Evelyn. I clicked accept, time for the show. I walked into the glass-walled conference room, and immediately felt the tension. Robert sat confidently at the head of the table, legs crossed, looking relaxed. But his confidence wavered when the client walked in. He wasn't alone. A woman followed him, someone I didn't recognize, but her presence sent an immediate shockwave through the room. The client took his seat. Robert, this is Andrea Holloway, VP of Corporate Partnerships. Andrea gave Robert a sharp nod as she sat. Robert blinked. Oh, of course, Andrea, nice to meet you. The client leaned forward, his smile polite but ice-cold. Before we get into today's agenda, I have a question. Evelyn, did you enjoy the game? The room went silent.